Hey guys, you remember Becca and Mikaela from our caramel slice bars? Well, they're back, and guess what? We're going to be making some gingerbread houses. Well, we're going to make one gingerbread house. So, girls are going to show us what to do with the dough. Hi, girls.
Hi.
So, Mikaela, what do you have in your bowl?
Well, I have 6 cups of flour, half teaspoon of baking powder, 4 teaspoons of ginger, half teaspoon salt, 4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and half teaspoon of ground cloves.
Yeah, so as is the normal process for making biscuits or cookies, we're going to cream the butter and the sugar together. We have 3/4 cup of unsalted softened butter and 1.5 cups of soft brown sugar.
And soft brown sugar, guys, just means light brown sugar in American. Alright, so now Mikaela is going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. Alright, now Mikaela is going to add a cup of, okay, this is supposed to be dark molasses. We're using a honey that we find here on the island, which works perfectly well. So that's a whole cup of this dark honey, okay? And finally, she's going to add a tablespoon of water. Okay, now Mikaela's going to start adding the flour a little bit at a time. All you really want is for this flour to incorporate with the wet ingredients. You don't need to super beat this, okay? Okay, so we just formed 2 big balls out of the dough. We're going to, it's all wrapped as you can see, it's going in the fridge. All right, now the girls are gonna start cutting the patterns. We're going to cut the roof, the sides, the main pattern, and the chimney. I will write down all the measurements of what they're doing on the recipe for you. Okay, so here are our patterns, guys. This is gonna be the front and the back of the house. And so you can see the girls made a little window and a door, and we'll cut that once we have the dough all cut. This is gonna be the side. It looks small, but it's not, because we're gonna have an overlapping roof, and then we'll have our chimney. I will, as I said, have all this on the recipe for you, okay, so that you can figure it out when you're making it. So we're getting ready for day 2 here with Becca and Mikaela, and we have a nice chilled dough that we're gonna cut now for you guys. We have some parchment paper on this board with some flour on top, and we're gonna start rolling out the dough so that we can cut it. We want to do this about a 1/4 inch thick. Now here's the thing, we want to cut the dough and the parchment paper, okay? So we might have to use scissors, because we want to transfer that dough with the parchment paper onto our pan. By the way, we are preheating an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. Becca has that little cut piece, and you know, as you can see, it has a little piece of parchment paper on it. So we're going to put all these on a pan, on a baking sheet, these little ones, and put them in the oven for about, like I told you, 7 to 8 minutes. We're gonna continue cutting all the molds. All right guys, see, this took 7 minutes exactly. I turned it around at 3.5 minutes and 7 minutes. Now, once you get your cookie out, you need to put your mold back on top, and if it, stretched too much or something, you cut it, just cut the excess. But look, this is looking good. I'm not gonna cut anything. This could take a little longer maybe in your oven. All ovens are different. As long as you start getting a nice little brown border there, it's ready. I'm gonna transfer these to a cooling rack, and we will do this with all the pieces. As I said, the larger ones will take maybe 12 minutes. All right, look, girls went ahead and cut the window and the door of the front, okay? You can do that once you take out the cookie while it's still soft. We prefer to do it now just in case it breaks. Our roof, the front of our house, you can see that, the back of our house, the sides, and our chimney. This is awesome. The bigger pieces took about 13 minutes, but look, this is nice and hard. This is gonna be beautiful. So now we're just gonna cool this down completely, and we'll make our royal icing so we can start gluing it.
All right, now we're up to making the royal icing to use to glue our house together. We have 1 cup of icing sugar so far, so confectionery sugar, and we have 2 egg whites. We've sifted the icing sugar, often it becomes quite lumpy in the bag, so we've sifted it in so it's all ready to go. Now we're going to beat it.
All right, so Mikaela's now gonna add another 1 1/3 cups of sugar to this. And what we wanna do is beat this until we have stiff points in it, okay? Look at that, nice stiff peaks, perfect. We're gonna cover this with a wet paper towel so it doesn't dry. It will dry fast, so you need to work fairly fast, okay? Keep it covered, otherwise it's gonna go bad. We're gonna go ahead and put some of that icing into a Ziploc bag, and we made a little hole in the edge there, okay? Because I don't have the piping bags. right, we're gonna put the chimney together now. You know, one of our pieces was a little long, so we just measured it and just cut that piece off.
You're right, this will hold it together. Good, keep your finger there. Great.
What do you want to do?
So see how this is flat and then this is...
Mm-hmm.
So if you put something flat against this, it won't sit against the diagonal bit. It'll sit against this edge. So I want to cut a little diagonal across the end of the top bit. Does that make sense? Because otherwise when you put a flat bit on here,
Oh,
it
yeah.
won't sit properly because
Okay.
this is jutting out.
Right.
Yeah, so I just want to cut like a diagonal
Okay.
on this top bit.
Thank you, girls. Gracias, chicas.
Merry Christmas!
Yes, Merry Christmas.